morning, good day to you, as usual, wherever and whenever you listen to this series of knowledge seekers of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. As usual, we welcome you back to 502nd teaching on this. We have a couple of messages for you. First of all, today we are in Amsterdam, and we officially invite through the channels of through Holland. We'll give a private meeting for the knowledge seekers of the what we call the home of the Keshe Foundation in Holland. Get in touch with your people. We wanted to keep it very quiet, but now we are here for another day or two, and through the right channels, you will be able to meet us. At least we can meet together. Not many of us, I think we'll be able to get together. Sometimes maybe Friday or later Saturday, we'll meet in one of the beautiful places in Amsterdam, and we, in a way, come back home. And we wanted to keep it very quiet, just for the Dutch. But if the Dutch knowledge seekers are what I call prepared to make the journey to Amsterdam, we're here. We now sit through the channels of the Keshe Foundation in Holland to be able to attend this meeting. It'll be a pleasure to meet you again after 12, 14 years of gap. We used to give lectures in Holland on a regular basis, weekly and monthly. For a long time, that's where the main support of the Keshe Foundation built up between Holland and Belgium, and became a worldwide disease. We'll let you know where the venue will be, and if by sometime next 24 hours, we know the numbers, we know the size of the room we need to take up. It'll be nice to meet you all back again, and we'll see where we go. Regarding to the meeting of the 11th of November, we have upgraded the 11th of November to a magnificent presentation. We'll present the technology of space beyond the imagination of man. Systems will be brought in, technologies will be shown that the present space technologies cannot even dream is existing and is operation. We will limit the number of the people, of the knowledge seekers that can come in on the weekend of the 11th and the 12th, and we will be stepping up the presentation not only to the masters, but to the space agencies, to scientific organizations, and to the press. We will show technologies which man could not imagine is at the present in the hand of the man. And then we build on it, and we go forward. What I call what we put at around about 300 people, we'll increase it to about 500, and those knowledge seekers who are booked by the next few days, we keep that position. And the rest, what we call the seats, will be allocated to what we call major corporations who will come to see, and as ambassadors are invited. Expect to see things which have not even been discussed in the teaching. We have kept a lot of knowledge in the background because we thought man is not ready. Now, having the Chinese government with us as collaborators in development of technology, we release this knowledge to be seen in the West. Knowledge which even our own knowledge seekers do not understand exists within us. And then we take this progress forward to the next step. Those of you who are attending the week before the 11th of November, complete registration as soon as you can, because we are targeting the weekend plus the people who were with us last week in Manchester to bring to the next step of what we call the development of the technology. The London teaching for the week, it will be an amazing teaching. I think some of those who attended the Manchester meeting understand what it means. The change it brings, and it brings to us, is not that we're going to change the world. We're going to increase the understanding of ourselves for our own work. In this process, we go one step further. We'll bring you to understand the limitation of transmutation and transportation, the limitation of what is possible to be done. In the coming weeks and months, massive new technologies will be released. Now that we have a step to the space development and space technology, and we have finished more or less teaching you the alphabet of the energy transformation, now we come to the space transmutation, coming to cosmic rays, coming to understand how to transport, transmute, and live in both dimensions. Understanding of the totality of the knowledge on both sides of the fence, as I call it. But depends what you want, what you have decided, which side of the fence you want to sit to watch. One side of the fence is the soul of the man, energy pack. One side of man is the soul of physicality, another energy pack. How do we interact this? How do we become to decide which one runs and which one shows and which one does what it does? In the long term, Keshe Foundation teachings will come to flourish in a different way. At the same time, through the development of the technology, Keshe Foundation in coming days will open a new channel, a new way, a new presentation of technology, of what we call to interact with the wellness of the man. Conditions which up to now were not and could not be understood can be brought under what we call new dimension of the work. Diseases that the doctors could not imagine can be changed in minutes and days, now will be offered to the scientific world. Conditions which we could not imagine can be handled so easily. By interaction of the fields, new technologies, new systems will be delivered, and it's already under use, that will bring the possibility of eradication of Parkinson, eradication of illnesses like ILS, and other conditions. Very much eradication of what we call the neurosystem of the man, which cannot handle the physicality of the man. In connecting the soul of the man with the soul of physicality, and with it connecting to what we call the physical dimension of the man. Keshe Foundation, as we showed you and as we develop the technologies in respect to coma, as we showed, it took us weeks and months of operation to bring back a coma in condition, as we saw with Naomi and other cases. Now the technology has developed in such a rapid way that it can be done within minutes. We'll open this side of the knowledge, hopefully with the permission of the Chinese government, Macau presentation of the health. We will show the effectiveness of the new breakthrough in science, where people with Parkinson, within days, hours, and minutes, walk away from the painful life which has been brought through the condition. We will open a new technology that will be delivered in conjunction with what we already developed, eradication of the cancer through the scientific world, and through, again, working through the operation of ours in China. In a way, we transfer the knowledge to the doctors and we show them the system, and it's for them to use. We have tested this in many ways, but now in the past few weeks, we see an end to a lot of these things. Some of the results and tests from our side shows the 100% correct result has been achieved and can be achieved and can be developed over weeks and months, eradicating what we call the paralysis of the body of the man in the physical dimension. This technology has been done very much before, but now is coming into flourishing. What we ask for and what we ask is to start up the new trials, what we call conversion of the energies of the man in a dimension of the soul of physicality to the what we call physicality of the man. These we have seen the results of. We know exactly what we've got to do. In a way, even our obesos and the systems we use in Lens and now into our service centers has become totally obsolete. I kept this technology back till the day, someday, like the conference in London comes, that the man can test. And now we are ready to show. We are ready to show most of the disease of the physicality of the man can be eradicated in space, will not exist. In a way, is a gift. In a way, it's understanding how to transmute between and how to become physical dimension in another position and time. And then we'll see the next step. I always dreamt about the day where I'll be able to release this technology in its true sense. And London meeting is the venue. Will open new doors. You will not understand when he said the dead will rise and the man paralyzed in the wheelchair will walk in an instant. We'll bring this technology forward in a rapid way to bring that change. And this will start, has already started, in a very, what we call quiet way. Our doctors and our systems have been tested to show the correctness of it, that they understand. People who are using the system have felt the change in their body when they use it through our system internally. But now we take this even a step further, much, much further, because there's two choices. I can teach another 10 years to bring you to it, or now that you understand most of the knowledge, I can show it and I can deliver it, and then you have to understand it. What we say in English, the proof of the pudding is in eating it. We bring the pudding, see if you can eat it and understand it. Intellect, knowledge, science will become instantaneous transfer. Whatever is the knowledge of the man can be transferred instantaneously. Does not matter what language, what emotion. Going through the teaching of last week, sitting with the knowledge seekers, some of them old knowledge seekers, some of them loyal to the Keshe Foundation for years, I realized they've been waiting and waiting that that promise will complete. Now is time to complete. Delivery of the technologies beyond imagination of the man. Delivery of technologies which bring eradication of the illnesses from the physicality of the man will be shown. I tested this in China in the past few weeks, and it was amazing to see it. And I thought, knowledge seekers do not even understand what stands in front of them. They're too busy with physicality. They're too busy with understanding of nothing, and still waiting, as they did not understand the full comprehension, the full understanding of the technology. Maybe it's time to show, but not become magician, as you have the fundamental understanding of the technology, as many of you have understood. As I said to a knowledge seeker in the past few days, the biggest show on earth about the space technology will be shown on the 11th of November in London. A show will not the show, but it shows what technology is and what the space technologies of today have to abandon. Will bring an end to nuclear warfare, will bring an end to greed of the man for every element of the creation. We are not here to impress, we are here to bring the change. And this change will be shown in its first step on the 11th of November in London. The venue is limited, and as I said to the head of the Keshe Foundation in the past few days, close the registration within the next few days. We'll increase the price to the position that no knowledge seekers can afford, because we want to bring in the world to see, as there is enough knowledge seekers who come in through the 200 sessions and through the other channels of the Keshe Foundation. Now it's time for the world to see and for press to be impressed in what they denied themselves and humanity for past years. I'll show technologies in London on the 11th of November that will baffle the world of science, will change the course, and will bring what I plan to do for years. Knowledge and technologies which make most of the technology of today obsolete. This transformation and this transmutation in knowledge is needed to be brought in now that we have enough time to stop every other possibility of another cycle of war, as the man is not busy with something else. In London presentation, you will see some of the most amazing things as knowledge seekers that say, wow, it was in front of us and we didn't see it. He always talked about it, but now he shows it. Now you understand the change. Now you understand the limitation. Those of you who were in Manchester were touched by just what I call the first soft feathers of the knowledge in understanding yourself, in transmutation and transportation of dimension of physicality, and understanding it, how you can do it. We'll bring and show technologies in London that will baffle the world of the science, that how much we have misunderstood and how much we've done wrong in our dimension of understanding the transmutation. We have reached the limitation of matter state life. Now we open a new horizon in energy life, dimension of the soul, dimension of understanding, interaction of the dimension of the fields, and not just a few amps and volts and watts, and just a few bits and bobs. You had enough time to play with magraphs. You had enough time to play with the star formation. I gave you enough knowledge to play with every possibility of every knowledge. And you, as usual, as naughty children, just played and played. Now it's time to show. It's time to bring the dimension of understanding and the challenges which face man in the dimension of the physical transportation and transmutation. Teaching of today is very simple. Teaching of today is again realizing you knowledge seekers sitting there for a week in front of me, how much you have played and how much more you need to play to be happy that you can do something, to be happy that you can understand how situations and conditions can be created. In understanding of the technology, in understanding of the what we call the totality of the work of the energies of the body of the man, we come to realize something very important. We come to realize how much we can work. In understanding something which we never understood, but we emphasize again and again on it for you to understand. In a dimension of the physicality of the man, oh, very nice shape. Now, where do I find colors? We know in the dimension of physicality of the man, man has no physical dimension if there is not an environmental field, which means we have no dimension, oops, if there was no magnetical gravitational field of the earth around us. If we move to another dimension, if we move to another position, and the environment changes, we'll find out that us as man will not exist. This is a very nice trick. But what will be interesting for most of us is if we change the field, the environmental field, do we become invisible. In the field dimension of the man, on Earth, we have a physicality. When we change the fields, we disappear. What kind of new creatures would be us manifesting ourselves at? Is the possibility of a line of life changes? Or do we still have that possibility, that what I call having the soul inside it? Having the soul that can bring the dimension of physicality through the soul of physicality in a new condition of life. In a way, if we change, if we bring a new condition, a new environment, how would we look? Would we trust to be able to go back to our real colors and conditions and life as a man? Would we think as a man in a dimension, or would we think as a new creature, new understanding according to the environment we manifest ourselves? The truth about all this is that, have we understood that we have a nuclear bomb with massive radiation capabilities, that is a cosmic rays, sits within the center of the body of the man. We call it the soul of the man. It is more energetic, it's more powerful in strength than the whole of the physicality put together. Body of the man is made of billions and billions of cells, and each cell itself has an energy to maintain its position and the condition of life. So the body of the man physically is a energy packs times billions, trillions. And that energy, in the dynamic motion transfer of the fields to what we call its blood, creates a cage to hold this in. One energy pack encaging another. But there is an interconnection between these two that allows one to be embedded inside the other. In a way, if you look at it in a bigger scale, you have your physical dimension outside from the interaction of these two. It's very much like gravity and magnetical field. In their interaction, we create the mass. Physicality. There is no difference if you call the soul of physicality magnetical field and the soul of the man the gravitational field, with the capability that one can change position with the other. Through an interconnection, through an interline power level, what we call common denominator, they can switch from one to another. Then this switch will decide in interaction with the environment how you manifest yourself at a point and a place. You switch the fields to the dimension of physicality, what do we have? We are going to have an amazing condition where what we call the dimension of the interaction, dimension of the position and the position of the fields can create the different dimension of physicality of the man in the same environment. What it means, you can change slightly the emotion, the dimension, and the direction. And then in that process, you can turn from being a white man to a black man. Because the environment of the earth has not changed. Is the field emotion of the place you live in allows you to do the transmutation. You look like Chinese, you speak Chinese, you understand the emotion of the Chinese language. Because now you kept within the gravitational magnetic field of the planet Earth. Is the inertia and a position in respect to the center and a condition of the fields of the inertia created, which gives you that environment. Don't forget, when you enter a new environment, let's say from England you go to China, the soul of the Chinese dictates part of that inertia. The soul of emotion of the nation, culture, language, dictates that part of inertia. That's why you manifest yourself if you decide as a Chinese and understand the whole lot. Then the language and the dictionaries are not needed, because now you don't need to press this and it gives you the meaning but not the emotion of. Now when you speak, you understand your soul has the emotion of the feeling of the word too. Now you decide to change the gravitational field of the earth to the moon. Now you manifest yourself in that position in the moon as a man of the moon. Is there a life on the moon? Is the collective life and interaction of your soul with it teaches you how to communicate, how to exist? Or you create a new dimension that the interaction of the emotion of the soul of the man and the soul of his guardian man translates that to the existence on that planet. You learn the language, you learn the feature, not out of transmutation, but by the collection of the interaction of the fields of the environment, of the soul of the people, entities who live in that environment. They transfer the energy, they transfer the knowledge to you as much as you transfer to them. It's not only the transmutation by the physical dimension, is interaction of the soul of the man in transmutation that interacts with the soul of the citizens of that environment that allows you to be part of, to be understood, and to live like them. Now you understand how some of the citizens of the universe live amongst us, talk like us, show emotion like us. They fall in love like man, but they have no intention to show their existence, where they come from. Now we graduate into that knowledge. Now with understanding this, with the training we have started in Manchester and follow up in London, in Beijing, and courses and sessions will be put by the Keshe Foundation, the world governments will bring that new dimension in. It would not be exclusivity of the rich It will not be exclusive of scientists. It will not be exclusive of the man. Even a dog can be educated into this knowledge as we teach the soul, not the physicality. Does not matter if you walk on 2 or 4 or 10. Now you understand how the environmental condition in collective understanding of interaction of the fields makes man knowledgeable of the dimension and a position in the universe as he manifests himself in that position on time and space. But once you interacted, once you transmutate, once you gather the knowledge, it becomes part of the universal knowledge. You move to another position in the universe, you gain the knowledge from them, and the knowledge you gain from the previous positions will become the knowledge of the new citizens of the environment, in the area you landed in. Understanding, in moving forward, in a way, adding to the knowledge, we add to the knowledge of the universe. Do not forget that you are part of the intellect of the universe, and you become that position and time and space. In a way, when your soul lands in an environment, and then you decide to manifest your soul of physicality, which now embeds inside the soul. And then in the interaction with the soul of the citizens, you'll be knowledgeable in the interaction to the whole knowledge of the environment you have manifested yourself. Now you understand how the fields of the soul of physicality in dimension of interaction understanding can manifest itself and move to the position of the new strength which you have manifested yourself in. In a way, man will become very fast aware of how to move in and out of the position without really knowing anything about it. In a way, even if you take off and land by mistake somewhere you did not think, imagine existed, you will find your soul. And then you decide if the soul of physicality which you embedded with you will manifest itself in that dimension or not. This is why we keep on asking you. This is why we keep on teaching you how to understand the emotion and how to complete the understanding of the work of the soul of the man. Then you understand the soul of the man is nothing but an energy. The soul of physicality of the man is nothing but the energy pack. And then you understand all we have talked about from the beginning of the teaching, 500 and something before and before that, is about transmutation and transportation of the packs of energies. You call it the soul, you call it the physicality, you call it both in the dimension of transportation and transmutation. That's all it is. Now we have to gain the knowledge how to switch between the two, irrespective of environment. Then man, fear of transmutation will walk away from him. as it's become a natural and a normal process in understanding of the totality of the existence in the universe. And if you understand this, we go back, as I always say in Quran, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We have completed the knowledge of the creation. We have completed in understanding the process of the creation, how we create ourselves, how we manifest ourselves according to the time, place, position, strength of the fields, and in understanding of the totality. Rick, they're asking to change your background as I close the whiteboard. In understanding the totality, in understanding the reality of the existence, now we come to the next step. We come to the next understanding. How do we transfer one energy to another? To the energy. What is the common denominator, link between the soul of the man and the soul of physicality? And if you understand that, then it gives you a link to the Creator, because it comes through the same mystery. It comes through the same path. And how do we communicate? How do we connect to the rest of the universe? In teaching of the past, I have touched on this. I explain this in a very soft way. But in the coming time, in the coming months, in the coming years, we'll show you more and more in how to connect, in how to add on, in how to understand the process of the creation and transmutation and transportation. Depends, if you want to travel in the dimension of physicality, you go for the transportation, the way we do, 18 hours on a flight from one position to another. If you want to go through the transportation and transmutation of the fields of the planetary system, the same distance, instead of 18 hours, 18 seconds. And then if you learn how to travel with the strength field of the cosmic rays of the higher order, the same position in milliseconds. That's all the difference is. How do you want to ship the package called the physicality of the man? And what method of the transportation you want to use? If you understood this, it's the same as what you do today. We call it different strength magnetic fields. You call it a donkey, a car, a jumbo jet, a rocket. There you use more fuel, you feed it more to get something out of it. Here you go by the order of magnitude, strength of the field's interaction. Otherwise, it's the same soul. Otherwise, it's the same soul of physicality using different method of transportation. Then you understand, when you travel with a donkey, you need a saddle to sit on to carry. Or if you're good enough, you sit on the donkey. When you go to travel by the jet, they sit you in the seat to strap you up and everything else. And then they put more fuel, you go faster. And then if you're in a rocket technology, you shake and shiver, maybe it doesn't explode on the way up. And then you go to the condition of weightlessness. Now there is no weightlessness, but change the donkey to the rocket, using different magnetic field strength, you find new dimension of the emotion of the soul. You find the speeds of the interaction needs faster understanding of the position, time and place. Then this brings man a new intellect, a new knowledge, becoming the what we call passengers of the universe, the true passengers of the universe, not with the monkey thought of the Americans and not with the imaginary talks in the fancy books and fantasy of the dream of the man. Because you make that dream the reality, because you understand the interaction of the fields of the soul of the man and the soul of physicality. how these two interact, how you position them, how you distance them from each other, how you use the different layer of the strength of these in respect to each other. You decide your method of existence. You decide your position and the foundation of life anywhere in the universe. Man decided to encase the soul and give it a cage which is flexible. We call it the body of the man. We chose the earth to manifest itself with 2 legs and 2 arms. Now, if you decide to use a higher order dimension of the physicality, then you still be on this planet, maybe invisible, but understanding more of the knowledge of the creation because you interact in different dimension fields. The atmosphere of the earth did not change if you were on a donkey or a jumbo jet. A jumbo jet or a rocket has no more intelligence than the donkey. Maybe the donkey is more intelligent than a piece of metal. At least it can make a decision where to turn and how to turn and where to sit. Where the plane has no, where the rocket has no decision. Somebody pushes a button and that's it. You have to be that donkey, which still carries the emotion, the understanding of interaction with the environment. It's a water I don't cross. It's grass I eat. I'm going to enjoy this one and not the other. I'm going to swim in this water and not the other. So in a way, we are back to the position of the creation with no intelligence, but understanding of the emotion. And then that interaction of the emotion of the man with his environment brings man that intellect. Does not matter where you are, because the knowledge of drinking and eating and walking on earth has no application and no need on planet Zeus, because there is no air, there is no water, and life is in dimension of fields of the universe. What's the use to carry a bucket of water and a sack of hay? There is no donkey, and there is no condition for a donkey to live on this new position, time and space. And this is what the lack of knowledge has made the donkey of the man on this planet. And the more we become ignorant of it, the more we deny the rest of it, the higher degree are given professors and scientists, because we become more narrow-minded, more focused on ignorance of the totality of the creation. Sometimes when I sit in front of the scientific world, I see them in understanding of the creation less than that donkey. Because in a way they are saddled with the ignorance and pride of the man, and have forgotten about the true life of existence, that the man is created out of the energy of the universe. It'll come from it and it'll go back to it. It's just how clever you become to use that position and time to, in a way, advance your knowledge, in a way, enjoy more as time comes the beauty of the creation of the Creator. Because one way or another, in one position or another, in a dimension of physicality, in a dimension of field of the soul of the man, in a dimension of interaction of the fields of the universe, there is always an end. The only entity will come from the beginning to the end is the Creator, and no other creature in the universe. But you have to understand, we are part of that creation. So we are responsible for it. We are there to bring that change, elevation of the understanding of the creation of even our own Creator in the dimension of this creation. It cannot exist if there wasn't an environment to confirm its existence. You are the God of your own physicality. and your child is a God of his own physicality. Is there only one God? Is there only one existence? Without the existence of the child, there's no confirmation of the Father. So, in understanding this, we understand we decide the emotion of how the Father feels and the emotion of how a child. And in the time and place and a collective society of the existence of the fields of the universe and the universe. This dilemma will bring an end to the religions once they understood. And soon will make it to be understood by those who make themselves to be religious and the religious leaders, as they understand the time of cheating the man through his ignorance of the knowledge of his creation is over. I hope today I open your eyes a little bit more to another dimension, a little bit more to understand more of the teaching of the past, a little more for you to understand you're in possession of the capabilities that you denied yourself and no one else. Extend the dimension of the soul of the man. Extend the dimension and strength of the soul of physicality of the man. And then decide in which field interactions you want to manifest yourself. You can create the condition of the Mars on this planet and show yourself how you will look on Mars. Do I like this? I don't like the color of the skin. I'm going to another planet. Do I like to crawl like animals on this planet? I want something I can go faster. And then you find out, man's expectation of the life in the universe will change to the position of the perfection of life, where we all strive to reach the ultimate goal. To become part of the creation and become part of the creator. And then at that point, man has matured to the knowledge of this universe. Now we have to understand the process of the knowledge of the unicos and every other universe within it, as each one is unique, as is each man on this planet. Then we learn the knowledge of sharing in a different dimension of the field, the strength of the creation, which the man is blind to at this moment of time. But in time we'll understand. The point of the teaching of today is to open your eyes in a way that you understand the next cycle of teachings which come in what strength of the fields I want to travel, in what strength of the field I want to manifest soul of physicality, in which dimension of field the strength I want my two emotions to be in balance with each other, that I can confirm my existence to the best beauty of Mitra. And then we come to the beginning and end, and we see the beauty of the creator and the creation. This was part of, in essence, of the teachings of the past week in Manchester. And in London, we create condition that some of you will be able to go to the condition and dimension of the transmutation by your will, not by us. We are just the creator of environment. It's a condition, the strength of your own understanding between the soul of the man and the soul of physicality of the man to go through that transition. I can bring you to the airport. I cannot push you in the plane unless I handcuff you as a prisoner, and this is not our job. Every man has to take that flight of fancy on his own accord and own understanding of the totality of his own creation. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah wa barakatuh. We have said what we had to say. It's for man to understand. Does not matter, it takes him days, minutes, or centuries. It's the dilemma of the man himself. and nobody else. And is a trip that it has to be made by each man individually. There is no collective gathering and collective awareness. That game was the games they tried by collectiveness to make a slave of the man by the man who will lead that collection. Now you understand. It's in the capability of every soul to reach the point of understanding of the creation. And it's for man to decide which school, which mode of transportation, and which dimension of the emotion and the strength that man uses, and nothing else. We are not here to slave man with another. We are here to free man from all others. And this is your responsibility to understand the position and strength of your solar physicality and how you can transmute between one another. Up to now, you called it the dream. Now that dream has become reality. And it's only you who can ignore it and nobody else. Because nobody had the dream you had. And nobody has the dream which you have, except you.